Hey, Shalom, Shalom. Kahlayim La, Yahweh, Bahashimi, Hawashah, Bahashim, Kakdash. A double honor to the elders and apostles, great men, son, told me the truth from the well. A much respect to you, brothers, that presents truth, while righteousness and sincerity. Shalom, Shalom. Just going into Isaiah 19 and verse 18, because again, that was the language of Canaan. It's a lot. That was the language of Canaan, So let's go into it. The title of the lesson I got was the language of Canaan was Hebrew. All right. So just a little bit more edification through the Spirit. This is Isaiah 19 and verse 18. It says, In that day shall 5 cities in the land of Egypt, talking about America, because if you notice, Isaiah was in the captivity Babylon, and this was prophesied after Egypt. So it's talking about the second Egypt, that spiritual Egypt, which represents the house of bondage, which the 12 tribes are here today. It says, everyone that maketh mention thereof. Read it again. It says, in that day shall 5 cities in the land of Egypt speak the language of Canaan, and swear to the Lord of hosts, one shall be called the city of destruction. Just the point, the language of Canaan. So what is the language of Canaan? I got a couple precepts lined up. First, I'm going to get Genesis 17 and 8. Genesis 17 and 8. It's a lot for the rain, It's coming down. Genesis 17 and 8. It reads, and I will give unto thee and to thy seed after thee. I'm going to start from verse 5. It says, neither shall thy name any more be called Abram, but thy name shall be Abraham. For a father of many nations have I made thee. I will make thee exceeding fruitful, and I will make nations of thee. Kings shall come out of thee, and I will establish my covenant between me and thee, and thy seed after thee, and their generations, for an everlasting covenant, to be a power unto thee, and to thy seed after thee. And said the Lord was going to establish his covenant with thee, with me being Yahweh Bahashim Yahushua, and thee being Abraham. It says, and thy seed being Isaac and Jacob and their descendants. It says, I will make thee exceeding, to be a power unto thee, and thy seed after thee. So the Lord is only a power of the Israelites, the descendants from with that righteous line. All right. It says, I will give unto thee and to thy seed after thee the land wherein thou art a stranger, all the land of Canaan for an everlasting possession, and I will be their power. So the land of Canaan was given to Abraham and his seed, his descendants, all the way down to the Israelites. All right. But the point being that Abraham was given the land of Canaan, and he was a Hebrew, and we're gonna prove that. So Abraham, if you can look at the lineage, or even in the scriptures, Abraham was a descendant of Eber, and that's where you get the word Hebrew from. All right. So everybody that descended from Eber was a Hebrew. You had Hebrew Moabites, you had Hebrew Edomites, and so on and so forth. But going back to Genesis 11, let's grab that real fast. It's Genesis 11 and 1. It says, the whole earth was of one language and of one speech, and that speech being the Hebrew. The oldest form of the Hebrew is Lashon Kodash, which they will say is Phoenician, but if it was Phoenician, it would be written in scriptures. It wasn't Phoenician, it was the Hebrew, and we know this as well because we read down, it says, I'm gonna skip down to verse 7. It says, go to, let us go down, and there confound their language, that they may not understand one another's speech. So the Lord scattered them abroad from thence upon the face of all the earth, and they left off to build the city. Therefore is the name of it called Babel in the Hebrew, because the Lord did confound their language of all the earth, and from thence did the Lord scatter them abroad upon the face of all the earth. So that's when all the other languages came about. At first it was just one language, and that language was the Hebrew. All right. It says, in another way, you know that through faith first and foremost, and then if you go to even in the concordance, it'll show that the scriptures was translated from Hebrew to Greek and to English. So it started with the Hebrew, and as well as we got the Lord's name. His name is Hebrew. It's not English. The Lord's name is Yahweh. Yahweh Bahashim Yahweh Shah. Right? It says, Abraham descended from Eber. Everybody that descended from Eber was Hebrew, both as a people and a language. Hebrew was a particular lineage, and it was a language. It was spoken. It says, let me get Genesis 14 and 13 as well. It says, it's no more proof right here. It says, and there came, this is how we know that Abraham was a Hebrew. Another way that we know Abraham was a Hebrew. It says, and there came one that had escaped and told Abram the Hebrew, for he dwelt in the land, in the plain of Mamre, the Amorite, brother of Eshcol and brother of Anar, and these were confederate with Abram. All right. And again, he was known as Abraham the Hebrew because he descended from Eber. All right. And just somebody might try to say that all right, well, how do you know that the Hebrew language was continued? When the Lord scattered going back to Genesis 11. Well, there was a scattering, but the Lord always had a righteous line from started with Noah, Shem, on down to Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. That was the righteous line, and the language and the customs was passed down. And then we had to fall away because we sinned, we went off, and the Lord in Zephaniah 3 and 9 said that he would return that pure language. And if you notice the different other forms of Hebrew and just different languages, they all got other languages like in the English. Kindergarten is a German word. It's not a pure language. As well as the Yiddish, the modern Hebrew. That's it's not unadulterated. It's not pure. The Lord said He returned that pure language, and we got the pure language, which is known as the Lashon Kodash. Hey, so Lord willing, that was edifying. Call Halayim La, Yahweh Ba'Hashim Yahweh Shah Ba'Hashim Kagadash. Hey, Shalom.